I asked him to send me like 10 VODs so I could see like his POV and just see like his thought process. And when I watched those, I was like, holy shit, like this guy is gonna make me win Europe, you know?
Hi everyone, this is Tom reporting from the LEC off-season as we're getting closer to the spring split yet again. And here with me here today is the coach of SK Gaming. It's Jesiz. How are you doing, man?
Hello, I'm doing great. We've been scrimming for a couple of days now, online mostly because of quarantine. We also scrimmed a bit back in December, and in general, all of our scrims have been very successful. Generally don't care too much when it comes to like, win-loss, but we've really been meshing well, like especially on a personal level. Like we're all having so much fun. We're all a little bit special in the head, you know. So that's really really nice. And I feel like we have already an environment where we can make fun of each other and troll around and
Friendly banter, just joke around. But you also get you guys also probably know when it's time to be serious in practice.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I can imagine so. You mentioned we're all a bit special in the head. So can you give me a taste of some of the antics that you and your players have been up to then?
It's just everyone has a bit of a personality, you know. It's like some of the players are not so experienced when it comes to life, and so they do some questionable things. They say some questionable things. So it's a bunch of different things. I think the funniest things are probably just not too appropriate to talk about.
Okay, yeah.
But in general, we have a lot of fun, and we have a lot of fun making fun of each other. So.
All right, it's good. It's good. Yeah. It's good to hear that so quickly already. You know, with 5 players from 5 different teams, you have this dynamic. Was this just completely natural, or did you guys do some team exercises, or?
No, it's just super natural. I think everyone it was very obvious everyone had the same goal, and everyone just really wants to win. And I mean, we have a lot of young players, and the older players, I guess, only really treats as quote unquote old.
Yeah.
He's also very, very young, like minded. And I'm very, very young minded compared to other coaches too. So we all just came in and just had fun and meshed well. Like even our manager as well is very young minded too. So we're all just trolling, and it's been great.
You're just having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's good, right? I mean it's the right attitude I think to have in the beginning when instead of things being tense from the get-go.
Yeah, for sure. Because then if you lose scrims, it's really doomed, right?
Yeah, and now I don't know, like you probably haven't won all your scrims, but when you lose,
majority.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's irrelevant. Like it doesn't matter. So.
Yeah. So what I mainly want to talk with you about is the team itself, because you have had quite an overhaul in terms of your team with only 1 player remaining. And I wanted to break down kind of with you like what your decisions were and why you build the team this way. Because from my understanding, this is you puzzling together this team with the faith of SK, right? That
yeah, me and Joe, obviously. Joe having the final say, but Joe definitely listened to a lot of my input, and we were sort of just doing this together. Joe put in so much work. Inner Flame, for the people that don't know.
Yeah.
He was basically not sleeping for like a month and a half, maybe 2 months even. Like he was just on and off, or like not on and off. It was just like constantly on, just working, barely sleeping. And yeah, I mean, of course, I helped a lot and I gave my input, but he was the one that actually made it happen.
Right. So was he like watching VODs of players and?
So like he was just having conversations all the time with everyone, including our players before and new players, potential new players, etc. And then he just asked them for their VODs, like whatever it might have been, like individual VODs, like POV VODs. Sent them to me, and then I would watch them, and then I would tell Joe if I think this person has talent or not, and then we would have conversations with those players if we thought they were good enough to compete at the highest level, like actually being able to win.
Yeah.
Because our philosophy when it comes to building a roster is we really want to compete to win. Like we don't want to just compete to go top 3 or be like right below G2 and Fnatic. Like that's, in my opinion, disgraceful. I think I always want to aim to beat these teams, like no matter what. So I don't want to pick, mediocre veterans. I don't want to pick mediocre rookies. I only want to pick like the ones with the most upside, like be actually able to beat players like Caps, for example.
Right.
Because in my eyes, it's completely pointless to compete otherwise.
Yeah,
Like,
so you're looking
why
at
am I competing?
their potential, their skill ceiling, and it's your job to make sure that they reach that ceiling. Then,
Yeah,
so
I mean, I feel very confident in my ability to coach, and I think that my ability to coach, or like my strengths as a coach, definitely suit rookies the most. So it's just a no-brainer for me to get rookies with the most upside.
Yeah, I mean, it does take maybe a special talent to be able to coach rookies, because when you have veterans, it's mostly about guiding them and making sure they don't do any silly things. But
Yeah,
rookies, you have to teach a lot of the basics. Well,
yeah.
quote unquote basics, right? And let's walk through the team then. You decided, first of all, to keep Janex, who switched to being a top laner for you guys in the summer split. I have to say, I was very positively surprised by him assuming the new role. I'm not sure if you were as surprised, but you were at least very positive about his performance then.
Yeah. So when it comes to Janex, I think he was probably the player I worked with the most last split. Which maybe can come as a surprise to a lot of people, because obviously I've played professionally as 3 roles, but I've never played jungle and top lane. So it's like, how can you really coach top lane? But I feel like top lane is very, very similar to, like, it has aspects of bot lane and mid lane, especially like just purely in terms of like trading and fighting. It's very similar to mid lane, and in terms of wave control, it's very similar to bot lane. At least range matchups are very, very similar. So I was able to help Janex a lot, and I could definitely tell both in terms of like mindset, but also like just personality, that like that was basically what I was looking for. Like it was basically perfect. And in terms of talent, I mean, I just think that he is just minimum like as good as the best top laners in Europe, and has capabilities of being way better than everyone else, in my opinion, of course. And I like I said, I only wanted players that could actually compete to win Europe.
Yeah.
And I saw that in Janex, and I think what gave me the most confidence was also that in the series that we lost against Schalke, I mean, he performed good. I mean, everyone were like the entire environment was quite bad, and still I think he performed really good. I think he exceeded expectations, because I think he was also in a slump at the time, but still he performed when it mattered. And
Yeah.
to me, that shows a lot of mental or like attitude or like
Yeah, he's
willingness
very
to win.
resilient in when the pressure's on. Yeah. So he was an instant pick for you. Okay, we're keeping this guy on our roster.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Now, as for Tinks, one of the 4 rookies who is debuting, had obviously a very good run in 2020. You've worked with him a bit before, and he told me as soon as his contract was open, you guys were knocking on the door saying, "Hey, we want you in the team."
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've worked with things before. I've I mean, the guy's just crazy talented. Like he's too talented. Like I think his natural brain for the game, or like his natural view of the game, is just very, very smart, like without experience. And I think that just gives you an edge like completely, right? And I think like junglers, it's like, I think it's very limited, like how much you need in terms of like pure like outplay potential, like skill in terms of like skirmishing and stuff like that. But I think like in terms of like pure jungle versus jungle, I think he's like one of the smartest, like naturally smart junglers that I've worked with and that I've witnessed. And when it comes to, I mean, that's like the main thing that I'm not gonna teach. Like that's like jungle versus jungle. I'm not gonna teach a lot when it comes to that. I'm gonna be able to give a lot of like bigger picture jungle ideas, and like giving him perspective in terms of how like jungle should interact with lanes, and like how lanes should interact with jungle. So for me, he's, in terms of like synergy with me, I think we very much cover like each other's strengths and weaknesses. Like I think he's so smart, like when it comes to jungle, right? And I believe that I'm very, very smart when it comes to understanding jungle from a lane's perspective, from every lane's perspective.
Right. So he can maybe also when you're trying to figure out strategies, coach you or give input on areas.
Yeah. No, that's something we already talked about. I told him that like I think the only skill that I'm lacking that I can't individually coach is like jungle versus jungle. So I need things to teach me, you know, so that I can teach him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you become you are the student, but also the master. Oh, well, some weird shenanigans going. Yeah,
Exactly.
now in the mid lane, you're picking up blue, and he was one of the people. You know, in the off season, always rumors start flying, and he had quite a few teams surrounding his name and being interested in him. So first of all, how did you land him? But also, why did you choose him?
So first of all, why we chose him. I mean, so going into the off season, I'd heard good things, and I'd seen like a couple of clips just from like his official games. So he was like obviously, you know, I was hearing in the wind like he was like upcoming talent, whatever. But I wasn't really convinced or anything. So I asked him to send me like 10 VODs of so I could see like his POV and just see like his thought process. And when I watched those, I was like, holy shit, like this guy is gonna make me win Europe, you know? Like that's the feeling. I don't want to overhype him, but it's just the honest feeling I
Well,
got.
saying he's gonna win you Europe is quite a bar to set, and not say overhype. But okay, yeah.
No, it's just I mean, like I can't say for sure if he's gonna do that, right? Because
Yes.
there's more factors to it than that.
Of course.
Like, so, but I do think that he's incredibly talented, and I am like it's like a parent shouldn't say that they love one child more than other children, but it's like I'm so excited when it comes to Blue. I'm so excited, and yeah, I mean I've already worked with him for like 1.5 months, almost 2 months, I guess, and I feel like I can help him a lot, and I feel like I have so much to work with, and it feels insane. Like it's so incredible to work with Blue.
Yeah. Wow, it's you give him high praise, but
I don't
you
want
know,
to because I don't want to
yes,
overhype it.
yeah, but I mean it's good, right? This is just a natural feeling you have towards that play. Now, the bot lane duo is going to be Jesiz and Treats, and let's start with Jesiz then. For the AD carry, why him? And you know, is he also gonna win you Europe? Is he gonna win you MSI? What's he gonna do for you guys?
I mean, so I think the AD carry market wasn't the biggest, like as big as it has been, or like there weren't as many like on paper, like super great like hyped AD carries, except from I guess like Upset. I guess was like one of those, right? I guess Crowny as well, but Crowny didn't want to stay. So we kind of like initially just were thinking, okay, so like who are the best rookies? And I mean, I think Jesiz was just at the top of that list, like by far. And then I mean, I just watched him play, and I could tell, okay, well, I mean, this guy's way better than I thought, and it's like, okay, well, let's have a chat with him, and then let me see more clips of him, and then I was thinking, okay, well, I mean, this guy's like he's good enough. He's definitely good enough, and he's definitely incredibly talented. But also, I think he's very special. I think like the way he plays is. I don't think he necessarily plays a lot of different like creative champions, but I think the way he plays AD carry, it looks so weird. Like when I'm watching him, it's so confusing because I feel like I've obviously played AD carry myself. I've played support. I've played with a lot of great AD carries. So I've seen like what it looks like when you play like creatively and when you play standard. And he plays standard, but he doesn't play standard. Like he mechanically he plays very, very odd.
Okay.
And I think there's such an upside to that because it's like I feel like he can really exceed like the bar. And I mean also just in terms of just playing normal, I mean he's just great. Like he's a super smart guy, super strong mentally, just very, very talented. And then when I met him in person, because when I was watching him online, he was choking a little bit. But then when he was playing in front of me in person, he was wow, like so insane, so incredible. So yeah, and Treats,
Yeah,
So like,
coming over from TSM,
yeah,
obviously. One of, a few players who make the cross to the Atlantic.
yeah.
Well,
So like
the other
initially, I
way.
wasn't incredibly impressed when I was watching his NA games, or like the competitive games.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but when I saw what he did in Chinese solo queue, and he sent me some POV VODs as well, of him playing solo queue, I could tell. I mean, because I'm a support player myself, I can tell when someone is capable.
Mm-hmm.
Like when someone, like how they view situations, like how they instinctively think about a situation when they're put in a specific situation, and just how they play lane and like their mindset and stuff. And I mean, for me, he was just the best player possible, for the position. And I think in terms of personality, especially, he's just pretty much the perfect fit.
Mm-hmm.
So there was, I mean, he's great.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, he was really really trolling in the boot camp. Like he was really rusty. I'm not gonna lie, but now we've been scrimming a couple of days here.
Yeah.
I think we've been scrimming for like 5 days now, and he's been smurfing every game. So yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, maybe he'll smurf it up in spring split. We'll find out.
Yeah. Now, also, what I want to ask you, obviously, you're very excited about your players, and that's really good to hear.
Yeah,
You're almost like a kid in a candy shop when you talk
yeah,
about
I am.
each of one of these players. Um, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. There is obviously always room for improvement, especially when you bring 5 players together. There's a path you have to walk to become the best in the
Absolutely.
league. So where is the improvement for this SK roster at the moment? And also, how long do you think it's going to take? Are you guys already contesting for the Spring Split title? Do you think, well, I want to see growth in Spring Split and then win Summer? Walk me through how you see the progress of this SK team.
So I want to win spring, and then I want to win summer, and then I want to go to Worlds, and then I'll decide what I want to do then, because I only really want to take winning Europe like first, and then I want to take winning Worlds after. But I'm just gonna be as honest as possible and say that I I, I don't have any less aspirations other than winning Europe. Like I don't give a shit about coming third or second or whatever. It's so useless. So just, yeah, I want to win. And in terms of improvement, it's mostly individual improvement, because I believe that the game is very, very individual skill based. So we have a very, very high skill floor. I think everyone's already really, really good, um, because they're just good individuals from solo queue or like their past teams in academy or whatever. Um, but I feel like our ceiling is so high, and I mean that's what's exciting for me, because I believe that, I mean, that's like one of my strengths, right? Like being able to individually coach my players. Like individual coaching is one of my biggest strengths. That's the type of coach I am. Um, I'm like, I obviously lead the team, and I bring like the standard head coach role. But I believe that what I can do that other coaches can't do is individually coach. So that's why I'm even more excited, and that's why I sound so excited when I'm talking about the players, because I feel like every player has so much upside, and that's why it's just like it's so exciting. Yeah.
All right, man. Thank you so much for joining me and for helping break down your team, because
Yeah.
with 4 rookies, many people will not know who they are or what they're capable of. But I think we've got a good grasp of. Well, at least I assume that if people have watched it, they're going to be excited for your roster, because
Yeah, maybe.
yeah, you're
Or
lit.
they think I'm delusional. Who knows?
Who
Doesn't
knows?
matter really.
But
It doesn't
yeah,
matter.
well, to me, your enthusiasm was infectious. So thank you so much for coming on,
Thank you.
and yeah, good luck. Definitely, good luck in the spring
Thank
split.
you.